storms. They're all over the place. Some of them rotating already, even though it's only the morning time, and that's not something you usually get mid-morning in June around here. Pretend it's March or April, because that's what the pattern is like for today and through tomorrow as well. But we're looking at the storm right here around Troy. It's starting to hook around. You got some heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning associated with this one, and these are moving kind of fast too, moving just about due east. So this one around Troy will be moving further into Barber County, into western Barber County in the next 10-15 minutes or so, and I'm kind of controlling this here on the side. But let's get Max 2 up. But this one is just soaring through Pike County with this cell right here around Troy. And that hook is not something that you want to see. That's typical of springtime storms that we get here. Can we get Max 2 up if possible? And that's what we're working with here. This storm, we've been watching a little while here, but that hook really starting to form, and I will show you velocity, and this is what we're looking at. So we try to find any kind of couplet with these colors, so the greens touching the reds, and typically the brighter that they are on both sides, that gives you more indication that we have something rotating. But right now that rotation is just west, almost about to be along Highway 231 north of Troy. And I think that's our main concern right now. I can kind of pan out here and see if there are any other velocity signatures that are worrying, but I'm not seeing too much. That's not to say that there's not going to be more to come. There will be some more rotating storms before the day is over. So here is kind of a bigger view of what's going on. So we have storms in Coffee County, Enterprise with some heavy rainfall, probably seeing that in the area if you're just, if you were to step outside. Now, we don't have any warnings on the board. I do anticipate there to be some severe thunderstorm warnings, some tornado warnings going through the rest of the day. This is going to be off and on, and some of these are going to be pretty rough, including this one here. Hopefully this one doesn't try to tighten up any more as it's moving through Pike County, but getting closer to Barber County there. Storms on almost both sides of Eufaula, some rain west of Eufaula, this one here just east of Eufaula, and I'm probably going to watch this one closely here as it moves closer into Coffee County. You're starting to get that hook feature on this one as it passes just east of Highway 331 around the Andalusia, the Op area. So that's another one of concern, but this is not usually what we would get in June. And this is more of a March or April kind of setup. We have a strong jet stream aloft that has dipped down pretty far south. We got a subtropical jet stream that's pumping moisture into the area. So not only do we have a lot of storms, but it's going to be very humid today, very warm, maybe hot in a few places. So think of March or April, but if you were to turn the heat up a little bit and the humidity, that's what we got today. These storms moving toward the east and northeast. Being pushed by that storm track by the jet stream. Not so far, I don't see any warnings. So we'll take this one, we'll look at this one in Troy one more time here, and we might jump off here. This is just kind of giving you an idea of how this day is going to go. Still some broad rotation right there just east of Shellhorn and not too far from Corcoran, however you pronounce that. I've never seen that town, but just going north of Troy is the broad rotation on this storm. Could potentially tighten up, and that's not what we want to see. Put it back on Doppler radar here. So these storms are just flying through here. They're not taking their time at all. This one right here around Enterprise, and I'll stop it. It's looping right now, but I'll stop it. So some heavy rain right there around Enterprise, both on the west side of town, the south side of town, a little bit moving into Clayhatchee, and this one that's trying to hook around, that one's coming close to Elba. Let's see what the velocity looks like on that one. So I'm not seeing anything that bad there. We do have a little bit that we'll watch right here. I'll circle this. right here, about to cross Highway 331. That's some broad rotation, and it is co-located with reflectivity of a bit of a curve on that signature. So, I mean, these could go at any time. They'll could be spinning like a top before the afternoon is over with. And through the evening, we have that threat of a tornado and damaging wind gusts and hail and heavy rainfall. So the whole gamut of severe threats is on the table for today. And we'll go to Amber real quick.
I am watching the National Weather Service in Tallahassee, their chat that they have, and they said that there will be a tornado warning incoming for the cell in Henry County. So this is going to be north of Abbeville. So if you are in Abbeville, this is to your north. Shorterville, this is going to be off to your north and your west. So it doesn't look very impressive. There's that tornado warning right there. But this is a storm that the National Weather Service has been keeping an eye on. So a little bit of rotation within the storm. You can see that there on our velocity scan. So let's back this up a few scans here. And it's not very impressive when it comes to the rotation within the storm, but it is there. So if you are in Henry County and you are in this polygon, so that includes Abbeville, even though the storm itself is a tad bit north of your area, make sure that you are in your safe place. This is going to be along County Road 97. Again, this is in Henry County here in Alabama. Wills Crossroads, this is going to go to your north as well, right along 95 here in Henry County. So if we zoom in a little closer here, not a whole lot showing up. This is going to be to the east of 431 in portions of Henry County. So again, this is our only tornado warning that we have right now, but want to make sure that everyone in Henry County north of Abbeville is paying attention to this storm. I would pull up our sky cam, but it is actually down right now, so we don't really have an eye on this storm in that area. But Zach, that's what I'm watching over here. I'll toss it back to you now.
Yeah, thanks, Amber. This storm is very impressive here on Max 2. It has that hook feature, possible tornado northeast of Abbeville. That storm, the worst of it would be east of Highway 95, kind of right here. I think there's a real worrisome spot right here where there's some rotation going on, and on the velocity signature, this one's not showing up very well, and neither is this one. So we'll go to correlation coefficient. But if you're going to be outside, I would not recommend being outside if you're going to be north of Wills Crossroads, around Shorterville, around Fort Gaines, County Road 237. Get in your safe place, because tornado warning, just because it's June doesn't mean we can't get tornadoes. It's a very rare event, but this is moving toward the east and northeast. So if this were to hold together, it would go very close to Fort Gaines here in the next maybe 10, 15 minutes. Shorterville right here on the fringe, the south side of this storm, still in line with maybe getting it as it moves toward the east and northeast. So let's see what our next scan of velocity looks like here. It just doesn't look like very much on this. I'm going to have to zoom out and see if maybe another radar can give us some better truth here. And that is just covered up with noise from the radar. That is not the best situation. So we're going to have to mainly go with our reflectivity, our radar, because our velocity is not doing a very good job, at least from this angle.
The National Weather Service is now saying this is a confirmed tornado that was located over Abbeville. This is moving east at 25 miles per hour. So again, they just cut my mic on. I wanted to make sure to note that the National Weather Service is saying that this is a confirmed tornado. It was located over Abbeville. So want to make sure that you are taking this seriously. I was talking about this all morning long, that this was a possibility today. So make sure that you are taking this seriously, that you are getting to your safe place. If you are in places like Shorterville or even Wills Crossroads, make sure that you're away from those doors and windows in the interior portion of your home, and make sure that you put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, this storm is moving off to the east at 25 miles per hour, so it's not moving too fast, but you want to make sure that you are, of course, taking this seriously. You probably hear the sirens going off if you are outside. So this is in Henry County and portions of Alabama. This is the only tornado warning we have right now, but there are a lot of other storms out there that are starting to rotate. So this is something that we're going to have to watch as we move through the rest of the day today. And like I said, this will continue until 11:30 for this warning. So you have about 45 more minutes in Henry County with this tornado warning. So we'll go over to the correlation coefficient here, and it's very noisy. It's very, very hard to pick up anything from this storm, but like I said before, the National Weather Service said this is a confirmed tornado, so we will definitely keep an eye on this one over the next little bit here for everyone in Henry County. So if I back up the storm relative velocity here, right over just to the north of Abbeville, you can see that rotation there. So I'll actually circle it for you. This is not in real time. This is a couple of scans back, but right there is where we see the rotation within this storm. So if we take this forward in time here over the past couple of minutes, you're watching where you see those bright greens at. That is where we have that rotation within the storm. So we will continue to stick with this one. I know once I flip back over to reflectivity here, it does not look like much at all, but this storm is out by itself, and those are the ones that you have to watch. I was talking about this yesterday, those just discrete cells that we get, and those are supercells. So they're by themselves, they have all the air around them to feed off of, all that instability, and they just get going when they can get alone. So again, this is the only game in town right now, but we will continue to stick with it here in portions of Henry County. Now, Abbeville, this has moved off to your east. So stay in your safe place for right now for the next couple of minutes as the storm moves through your area. So Zach, I'm going to send it back over to you.
Yeah, Amber, so this is just one of what could be many storms for today, but we're following this tornado warning for parts of northern and eastern Abbeville. You can see it still has that curved shape to it, and it looked a little more impressive a little while ago. Probably a tornado was near Abbeville based on some of the scans that we've had here, but doesn't mean that this can't tighten back up again as it moves toward the east and northeast. Getting close to Shorterville, probably it's going to go just north of there, but Fort Gaines could be in line with this here in the next 10 minutes or so. Let's see how far this has come through the last 15 minutes. So 15 minutes ago, it didn't look like anything dangerous as it was right near Abbeville, but then it quickly turned into a hook within just 5 to 6, 7 minutes, somewhere around there. And then it moved a good 5 miles or so in no time at all. So Shorterville needs to be in their safe place as this moves further through eastern Henry County. And I want to just go through the rest of the area to make sure we're not missing one, because there could be another one that fires up here over a little while. So let's go to Troy, because I've been watching this one here in Pike County, and the velocity on that one still concerns me because you have a couplet that is northeast of Troy, right there near Jonesville. I'm wondering if that one doesn't try to tornado as it moves further toward the east and northeast. So I'm watching that one closely. That could be a problem spot. Looks decent even on storm relative winds. It's a broad rotation. That one could be strengthening near Jonesville as it moves not too far from Catalpa. And hopefully I'm pronouncing that one right. But let's go back to this one in Abbeville. It's hard to see the velocity through some of the noise on this feature because usually you don't get a ton of purple showing up there. That's trying to obscure what's really going on. But somewhere right around there, somewhere north of Wills Crossroads is going to be probably the worst of this, and our reflectivity scan shows that it is north of Wills Crossroads, about to get even closer to Fort Gaines. So you want to be in your safe place. That's going to be the lowest level of your home, away from windows, walls, and doors, particularly closet, an interior bathroom. You know, if you got kids at home, make sure to bring them inside, keep them protected. Doesn't hurt to put on a helmet and shoes, just some of the precautions there, because this could tighten back up again and form a tornado. At least at one point there was a confirmed tornado with this one right near Abbeville. So we don't want that to happen again. You don't want to be unprepared if it does. So Fort Gaines, I would be getting all your plans in place to get sheltered from this. And I'll actually bring it a little closer here so we can see some town views on here. Let's bring it a little bit more zoomed in. So, of course, we got Shorterville. It's going north of Highway 10 and Wills Crossroads. Wills Crossroads, you are not in line with this. Notice how far you are from it. So I know it's a little town, but there's people there. And then you got this way to the north. So I think at Wills Crossroads, you're good to go. If you're just north of Shorterville, still need to be sheltered because you're in line close enough, fair enough with the worst of this. And you still have this trying to hook around again as it goes to County Road 237 and County Road 97, just to call out some streets for you there. And then that's right near Fort Gaines. So still need to be sheltered from that. So Amber, are you seeing anything else? Because I've been staying on this one storm mainly.
So with that storm, we actually do have damage reports. This is actually from our friend Josh Johnson up at WSFA. He said he had a friend driving back from the beach, and they said that one house was damaged. This was in Henry County, and there's debris on US 431. So this is in Henry County. So this is with that tornado. We have a confirmed tornado with the storm. And I do want to bring attention to this storm that will be moving into Coffee County over the next couple of minutes here. You can already see that hook on Doppler radar. This is reflectivity. So let's swap over to velocity here, and you can see a little bit of rotation within the storm. So this is an early heads up for places like Pine Level, even Elba, Curtis. Make sure that you're paying attention over the next few minutes, because we could get a warning coming from this storm over the next few minutes as well. So keeping an eye on the National Weather Service chat as well. And they are saying that in Henry County, the emergency manager reported from the Forestry Commission of an observed tornado on the ground. So yeah, we can go back to that storm in Henry County. Zach, since that one is a confirmed tornado, I'll keep an eye on this one that's headed towards Coffee County and give you updates if I see anything else.
Yeah, thanks, Amber. Yeah, that one moving toward Coffee County is very concerning based on the velocity scan that we're getting there. It already looks like it's going to be trouble. So be aware today. This is June, of course, it's summertime, but we're feeling more like March or April today with the weather pattern that we have. So let's go back to this tornado warning here for the Shorterville area and areas north of Shorterville. Now, reflectivity shows that Abbeville is in the clear from this. I want to make that plainly known. Now, if there's some debris that was thrown into the road in various places, you don't want to go try to check it out. Be careful if you're around the Abbeville area to not go out if you don't have to just yet. But you're safe from the actual storm, from the tornado as it's moved toward the east and northeast. But there could still maybe be some dangers, maybe a tree or two thrown on the road. So you want to be careful if you do have to get out. But Shorterville and north of there, Fort Gaines, this is pretty close to you now. So the worst of it, let's see how close we can really get zoomed in with these roads here. County Road 97, just west of Fort Gaines, in line with the worst of this. You have that hook. It's really staying a threat as it stays hooked like this. Now our velocity scan has been kind of muddled, and that shows up with the purple, but we can do our best with it and find out exactly where those winds are trying to rotate. I think it's somewhere right here. you do have a little bit of purple showing up, and that's going to make it hard to see, but getting close to County Road 97, want to be sheltered north of Shorterville, the worst of this storm. That's where it's about to head, so make sure you're in the lowest level of your home. Have your kids, family, and pets safe. We'll zoom this back out here. Now, looking at correlation coefficient, this is what we use, our debris tracker, to see if anything's being thrown around in the air that's not meteorological. So we're not, of course, rain, hail, not going to be something that we're searching for with this storm. Some of the storms today could have hail in it, but I'm not seeing it in this one. But I just don't see enough evidence, unless, I don't think that's debris showing up there. But there was a confirmed tornado near the Abbeville area, so could be one of more to come. Still staying a danger as it moves toward Fort Gaines. And let's look at some street views around the Fort Gaines area. I guess there's not very many streets to show up, so this is a rural area, but County Road 237, County Road 97, right there. This is on your doorstep, so you want to be getting in a safe place from this. There's some heavy rain with it. If there is some hail, it would be located right here close to where the heaviest rain would be. Still within that curve, you got that inflow that's keeping this thing hooked with a hook feature. Very dangerous storm, and I think that, the tornado warning still continues, but Abbeville and just east of Abbeville, you are out of the thick of it. They need to cut back this tornado warning, trim it back to about right here. That's where I would trim this tornado warning back, but yet to do that. So just to make you aware, Abbeville, you are safe from the imminent danger, but be careful if you have to go out anywhere, because I'm not sure of the extent of any damage. Amber, do we have any reports? If you can get situated there with that and see if we have anything around there.
I have not seen any more reports out of Henry County just yet. I have been keeping a very close eye on this storm that is moving into Coffee County, and that's also the one that the National Weather Service is keeping an eye on. It has a nice little hook on it, so of course, like I said earlier, this could be our next one to start rotating, so we will keep an eye on it. Switching over to velocity here, not a whole lot going on, but there is a little bit of rotation within this storm, so definitely worth watching. It's right now on the Covington-Coffee County line, so we will continue to watch this. Where you see those reds and those greens together, that is the rotation within this storm. Switching back to your velocity scan here, and you can see that little bit of hook just to the south of Pine Level. So this is going to be moving off towards the east, so that's going to include places like Elba. You need to make sure you're in your safe place as well. And I'm going to zoom it out here and show you what we got going on across the rest of the area. We have another tornado warning, but that is out of our viewing area in portions of Georgia. And for the rest of us right now, it's just some very heavy rain and a lot of lightning within that storm that's in northern Pike County. But so far, the Henry County storm is the only warning we have, but like I said, keeping a very close eye on the National Weather Service chat. They're watching all the storms, and I'm watching all the storms, and we have Zach as well. So we got you covered for the next few hours here, and it looks like we could be in for a pretty long afternoon since these storms are already starting to fire here at 11 o'clock in the morning. So we'll keep you covered and continue to watch these, and of course we will stick with this at least until that tornado warning is expired for Henry County, and if they let it go to the full time here, it would go until 11:30, so we still have about 30 minutes on this tornado warning. I don't think it will last that long, because let's zoom in here and see what it looks like now. So it's about to cross over the Henry County line here, but it's right along County Road 97. So this is going to be to the north of Shorterville. Fort Gaines, you are in the path for this storm. So if we switch over to velocity, again, the velocity scans have not been very impressive with the storm the entire time, but we know that it did have a confirmed tornado with it. So definitely going to continue to watch it. Correlation coefficient here, again, this is how we measure if there's anything falling from the sky that is not rain, but not really seeing a whole lot within this storm Reflectivity, though, still is an interesting shape. So something to continue to watch over the next little bit here. But yeah, Zach, that's what I got for you.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. So besides this one here that has a tornado warning on it, the other one that I've been watching more intensely is right here in Pike County, north of Banks. So let's see what this one's looking like here. And this one, the velocity's been cooperating more. So what we have here is a very broad rotation. This looked a little better 5 minutes ago, but right here just north of Catalpa, and correct me if I'm saying that wrong because I've never said that town before, but it's just north of there. So that's where the worst of the storm is. A broad rotation. It does have the potential to tighten up as it moves toward the north and east. So don't be surprised if this one has some kind of warning on it here in the next little bit, but hopefully it does not. And then some others, well, we'll actually look at this on reflectivity too. So some heavy rainfall in parts of Pike County with the reds and oranges showing up. Can't rule out some hail before the day's over in some of these storms. That's another threat that we have. We have all
We
the
now
threats
have another
today.
tornado warning.
Is it this one right here?
The one for Coffee County, the one that I was talking about, we now have a tornado warning for this storm. So Elba, make sure that you're in your safe place here over the next little bit. So let's zoom in. Of course, Elba, you're already seeing that very heavy rain. Pine Level, this is going to be just to your south. So one of the roads that popped up is Tiger Drive. So if you live along Tiger Drive, make sure that you are getting to your safe place now because we do have a tornado warning in place. We already know that these storms are capable of producing some very heavy rains. We've already had that one confirmed tornado in Henry County. So Coffee County, make sure that you are paying attention to this and the warnings. So calling out some roads here, we have 189 and then we have 125 and County Road 239. So this storm is moving off to the east again at 25 miles per hour. These are not fast movers at all, but they still can produce a tornado. So yeah, Zach, I'm going to throw it back over to you so you can look deeper into that storm while I check out the National Weather Service.
Yeah, Amber, appreciate it. Yeah, there's a lot of storms, so it's easy to get fixated on one or two, and then another one pops something up a little ways down the street, and you not notice it right away. It's going to be a very active day, so it's good to have two sets of eyes on radar. So right here at Danley's Crossroads, this is the worst of it right now. This is actually a couplet we're going to be concerned with. Could be a possible tornado at any moment as it moves toward the east and northeast. We have the ingredients today, but right here along 141, Danley's Crossroads, then it will move north of Tiger Drive, or right there along Tiger Drive, calling out some roads. You know what road you live on, so hopefully you take action as needed. And then Elba, very close to the main thread of this. I'm hoping it goes just north of Elba as this storm progresses on, but then it's going to continue toward County Road. What road is that? It's cut off. Let's see. County Road 239. So I think it's going to go right along that path here, right along up into around County Road 239 if this holds together. We want this to weaken, but this one has been showing signs of forming for the last 30 minutes at least, maybe even longer than that. So there's our next scan. That looks even more threatening. And we'll go to our velocity signature. So we have two different velocity products, and this one shows that bright green color right here. Now we're not seeing any red next to it, but with the other one showing some red next to it, this one kind of combines with that one, shows us even more truth that there's a potential tornado that could be forming here over the next bit. So if you're in Elba, if you know anybody north of Elba, further into northern Coffee County, you make sure you call them, text them real quick, get them to go into a safe place, because we've already had one confirmed tornado today, and this could end up being a second one. And I'm not looking at debris signature with this, because every time I try to go into that, it's kind of busy with what it's showing and a little uncertain. Sometimes the debris tracker doesn't give us the best product. Sometimes it's working great, but today it's looking like it's a bit of a mess, so harder to work with. Amber, are you seeing any new reports come across the line with this storm in Coffee County?
So I'm not seeing any reports out of Coffee County just yet. There is report of structural damage in Abbeville, multiple trees down in the city limits of Abbeville as well. We are still continuing with this tornado warning for Henry County. The National Weather Service said a confirmed tornado was located near Fort Gaines, moving east at 20 miles per hour. So this storm is still hanging on, but of course there's other storms that we have to keep an eye on as well. So we'll keep an eye on this one. This is in Dale County. This is just north of Daleville, so another storm that we'll have to watch to see if it starts to rotate over the next little bit here. This one has a good amount of lightning with it as well, so heads up for you in Ozark. You'll see that heavy rain soon as well. Even Midland City, you'll probably see the rain here shortly as well. But we have 2 tornado warnings. We have that one in Henry County still. That runs until 11:30. And then we have that one in Coffee County as well. So, okay, I'm hearing from production that we have video from Henry County from the storm, so I don't know if we can pop that up. There we go. So that's that storm that produced the tornado in Henry County, and I mean, this is what we're looking at today. These storms mean business. This is not something that we normally see in June. This is normally something you would see in March or April, but I was telling you this morning, you had to make sure that you were prepared today. So we have 2 active tornado warnings now, and one is the storm that actually produced the video that we were just seeing. So make sure that you are taking this seriously. If you're near Fort Gaines, make sure that you're in your safe place. And again, that tornado warning we have in Coffee County, and I'll keep an eye on the storm that we have in Dale County as well. So Zach, take it away. I will be your eyes over here as much as possible.
Yeah, Amber, thank you. And I'm watching this cell that's in Dale County with that big blob of rain. And rain's not really what we're too concerned with, but you see this hook right here that's just covering east of Daleville, and it goes all the way north of Daleville. This one could turn into a tornado warning as well as it moves toward the east-northeast. Ozark, you are just north of most of this mess here, but you probably see it if you're anywhere around Ozark. Wouldn't try to see this storm. Newton, you're in the thick of it, but that rotation, if it's going to tighten up, it's going to be about right here. It's going to be just east of Highway 249. So if you live near there, then you know that you're in kind of a dangerous spot. But Fort Novacell probably has a pretty good view of this storm as it moves just toward the east and northeast of them. And these are moving about 25 miles per hour. So here's that tornado warning. Now, Elba, you are not in the immediate danger of this. It is north of you here, but still wouldn't go outside to try to see anything. This is going to continue to move towards some of these county roads here in Coffee County, including County Road 125. Then it will move into the area of County Road 167, crossing over that. And it's kind of a rural area, but we'll try to zoom in and show as much as we can here. Let's see what we can do with this. So we'll go pretty close to, so County Road 239 in a danger zone here with this potential tornado moving close to the area. On velocity scan, doesn't look, oh, it still looks kind of rough. So right there north of Tiger Drive, that's where that couplet is. But it, Amber, I don't know, you don't have to say anything, but if you have anything different from my radar, because it's not showing the radar lined up with the velocity. So I think that there's a little lag in activity, but the worst of this is right here along County Road 189. That's where any rotation's going to be. Still has that hook feature, something that we would see March, April, maybe early May. but here we are in the middle of June and we're getting a spring-like setup. So I want to go back to the bigger view here. So just in case you're not in the affected areas, I want to point out that the Panhandle is quiet. Nothing going on in the Panhandle. All this is in our southeastern Alabama counties. Look how many storms we have. So many you can barely count them all as they push off toward the east. Some of them don't have warnings on them, but probably will end up having warnings on them. This one right here that's moved into parts of Clay County, Georgia, there was a warning just northeast of that even. So, and that was a little bit out of our viewing area. Well, let's go back to this one in Coffee County. Bring it right here. So areas that are affected, bring it a little bit closer. So New Brockton, you're not in this. So no worries if you're in New Brockton, you're out of the danger zone with this. Elba, the danger has already passed from this storm. Yeah, you could get a storm later on, but it's now moving south of the Jack area, moving closer to...
We now have a tornado warning for Dale County as well. So this is the storm that we were talking about that was right near Daleville. It was north of Daleville. So Ozark, you are not in this polygon, but Midland City, you are in that polygon. So make sure that you're in your safe place. So let's go over to velocity. So this actually carries over into Houston County. So if you're in Houston County, you're hearing the sirens going off right now. This includes the northern part of the circle, but the storm is moving off to the east at 30 miles per hour. So this is our fastest moving storm that we have right now. So even if you are in Dothan in the northern half of the circle, this storm is actually going to stay to your north. So something to keep in mind there. But this is what we're looking at on velocity. Not a whole lot picking up, but if we go back to reflectivity and you just see this mess of a storm, so this is where we have that possible tornado. I'm keeping an eye on the National Weather Service to see if we have any damage reports coming out of Coffee County or Dale County. I know the tornado warning that we had in Henry County near Fort Gaines still looks like it could probably be producing a tornado as well at this time. So make sure that you are staying in your safe place. But again, we now have 3 tornado warnings in our viewing area. So you want to make sure every storm that pops up that you're paying attention today, because that's just how active the atmosphere is today. Again, I've been saying it all morning. It's kind of like a setup you would see in April or March, not June, but here we are. Just make sure that you are paying attention if you are in these little polygon areas. So yeah, I'm going to continue to watch the National Weather Service, Zach, and give it back to you.
Yeah, Amber, a very active day has been unfolding here with this newest tornado warning on this cell. Now, one thing about this one is this is going to be rain wrapped. Look how much heavy rain is in this one as it goes just around and south of the Ozark area. Don't try to get out and see this. This is going to be dangerous as it comes through. Make sure you're sheltered in the lowest level of your home, away from windows, walls, and doors, particularly an interior bathroom or closet. Get the kids, the pets, everyone to safety. Midland City, you're right here with some heavy rainfall, some lightning strikes within this. Not as much lightning as we had yesterday, but still the atmosphere charged up and producing rotating storms. So velocity scan shows this to be right pretty close to the Newton area. So that's our main concern here. And even though the velocity scans haven't looked that good today, with that curve, the best of the curve right there, it does pretty much point out that Newton is co-located with the worst of those winds, the opposing winds, the greens touching the reds, the rotating part of the storm. So this is a dangerous day. You want to be taking shelter from this, but I'll still toggle back and forth to see if we can get some decent looking wind products here to show up. But there's Doppler radar showing this to be quite a rainmaker too, combined with that rotation. Now, Dothan is also in this tornado warning on the northern edge of town here, but there's no immediate threat for the northern part of the circle. You can see the worst of this is off toward the north and west. Midland City still needs to be in their safe place, and areas around Midland City. But Dothan just now seeing some light rainfall from this on the fringe part of the cell. But that is quite a hook. It's been trying to hold on to that as well. Maybe I can show you a different radar view. But then again, it's not going to let me zoom in very close to it.
I have the Dale County Skycam pulled up in Ozark.
Yeah,
if
what
we
does that
can
look like?
pop that up in the corner by Zach. Some very heavy rain falling there. The wind was blowing a little heavier just a few minutes ago, but things are starting to calm down a little bit there in Ozark. So there's the camera. That's what we're looking at in Ozark right now. Very dark skies and a lot of heavy rainfall. I've moved it around to see if we could get a better view of the storm, but of course the rain was way too heavy at the time, starting to die down a little bit there in Ozark.
Yeah, very heavy rain, and that's going to make things complicated for the storm structure. And also, if you don't want to go out and see it, because like I mentioned, it's going to be rain wrapped. Just want to be in your safe place. But Shorterville, the worst of this storm has now made it northeast of you. So that tornado warning needs to be trimmed back as it gets further into Clay County. And then this one here that includes the northern part of the circle of Dothan, the warning sirens went off on phones and all of that, but just really showing you here where the worst of it is. Still got that hook. It's a little muddled now, but that hook is showing up to me right here, and it's going to be pretty close to Midland City. So areas north of there too. And Headland, Newville. Now these are some other towns. You're not seeing this just yet, but if this holds together, it's going to be moving further towards you. So make sure you're paying attention to what's going on here. Some of those lightning strikes extending away from the storm, and I'll try to see if there's anything on correlation coefficient, but I'm not having any luck with that. Some days that works better than others, but the area of Fort Novacell, South Novacell Street, Delville, Kelly, you are in the clear from this. Level Plains, you are in the clear from this storm. Newton, it's pulling away from you, so I would just remain sheltered for a little bit until this can get past you here. But still seeing some broad rotation with this, and it does have the potential to tighten up. It's kind of close to radar. That's going to impact a little bit about what we're seeing with this, because that radar right there near Echo on the fringe area of this. Ozark, you're not in line with the worst part of this storm, but I'm sure that you are hearing it, and you probably are still dealing with some rain from that. But that's one of the storms here, and Dothan not to be concerned with at the moment. But there's other storms today. Just because Dothan gets skipped on this line, if you think, oh, I didn't get any rain today, well, maybe later on in the afternoon you will, or this evening you will. We got another cluster or line of storms coming in later on today. Could have some damaging wind gusts over 65 miles per hour, maybe some spin-ups within the line. So this is round one of what's most likely coming of round two later on today. So it's going to be off and on through the day today. Amber, are you seeing any new damage reports? Was there anything from that Abbeville storm or anything new?
Nothing new that I'm seeing out of Henry County right now, but I'm sure we will hear more reports out of that area since we're already getting a few from what was a confirmed tornado. Not seeing anything coming out of Coffee County so far from this warning, so that is some great news there. I'm not seeing any damage reports out of Dale County either, so that is some good news that we have to pass along to you. It is now 11:16 on this Wednesday, so we are trucking right along. We still have those 3 active tornado warnings across the area. Now, this one in Coffee County is not looking as impressive to me now. I've been toggling back and forth between the velocity and the reflectivity, and it's just not looking very impressive at all. So if you are in Elba, you are in the clear now. The storm has moved off to your east, which is some great news. So let's go over to our storm here in Dale County. Midland City, you're getting in on that heavy rain. Ozark, it was raining heavy there a little while ago, but this is what we're working with in Dale County right now. There is some very gusty winds within this storm. The velocity scans not looking very impressive, but of course we do have that tornado warning there, so make sure you are in your safe place if you are in this polygon. So that includes places like Midland City, Ozark. This is going to stay just off to your south. You are not in the polygon. Headland, you're also going to be in the path of this storm. In the northern part of the circle here in Dothan. Okay, sorry, production. I know you're talking to me. What did you say? A better video of the tornado. This one is from Henry County. So we can go ahead and play that. So there we go. There is that confirmed tornado that touched down in Henry County from earlier. So, I mean, that goes to show you what these storms are capable of today. So you want to make sure that you're taking all these warnings seriously. So something that we will continue to watch today, because again, we still have active warnings now. We have 2 in our viewing area that we will continue to watch. We have the one in Coffee County. We have the one in Dale County that covers portions of Henry County, even into Houston County as well. A lot of lightning in the storm in Dale County, but that is our confirmed video, if you are just joining, from a tornado that touched down in Henry County earlier. We were getting damage reports out of Abbeville from that storm. If you are in the area, don't go out looking for damage. Stay away, let the officials take care of everything, and then make sure you're paying attention to the forecast, because we're not done just yet. This is only round 1. We'll see more storms fire up as we head through the rest of the afternoon hours today. So don't think it's just one and done. If you get a little rain, you're done, because that's not the case today. So Zach, like I said, we got a couple of storms across the area we're keeping an eye on, so I'll let you get back to the latest.
Yeah, Amber, I'm watching this one that's moving further toward Clayton, and that one has broad rotation in it. Checking Doppler indicated winds, storm relative winds. We have a couplet broad rotation northwest of Clayton. I will circle that for you. It's right here. At least we can see that, because we've had a little trouble today with some of our products, but this one is more evident. So right there northwest of Clayton, coming pretty close to County Road 51, and then that's going to go almost parallel to County Road 30 as we get into more of Barber County. So that's one that could be on a tornado warning here in a little bit. We still have that tornado warning, couple tornado warnings. One of them for the area of eastern Dale County and southwestern part of Henry County. And I know that actually contains Dothan, but if we zoom in closer, we can examine this more. So right here, let's show you the northern part of Houston County. So right here, the northern side of the circle in that tornado warning, but you're kind of far from the main threat, which is northeast of Midland City, now moving close to Headland. So Headland, Newville, be sheltered, be lowest level of your home, away from windows, walls, and doors. It's a dangerous kind of day. We've already had one confirmed tornado. There's been some damage reports. This is not what you would expect in June. We're living more like March or April, or even early May today, as this spring-like setup is producing tornadic storms. But let's look at Headland. I'll call out some streets for you. A lot of streets in the area of Headland, a little more populated than some of these here. But we're looking at White Road and County Road 99, County Road 22, the town of Blackwood in that tornado warning, not too far from the area of strong winds, opposing winds that we're watching here. So, take action as needed. And then if this were to continue outside of the tornado warning, it would go further down County Road 99. So just some roads for you there. So Newton, you are now in the clear from this. Fort Novosel, Delville, the town of Kelly, Pinkard in the clear from this. Midland City also in the clear for this. We got a little box here showing what's going on as this storm is moving north of Dothan. I believe that's our Flowers camera here. So very ominous view showing up, not what we want to see. You can see how some of those clouds are really dark, packed with rainfall, and shows the potential for some rotation within that. And it's getting pretty close to the echo radar, which is going to give us some idea of how the winds are close to radar, but it is going to impact it a little bit there. As it gets close to it, it might be a little bit muddled in appearance, but for now I think we're good. And here's Doppler radar showing the rain surrounding the radar in Echo. Newville, you're still in line with this, so I want you to take this seriously. And remember, Dothan, you are in this, but you're not in the immediate danger. So I want that to be clear. So I know that some of the daycares are getting out early today, maybe around noon. If you have to go pick up your kid, I would do that ASAP. I would not wait, because you don't know what's going to pop up or come through here in the next 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So you want to get that taken care of pretty quickly if the kids' daycare closes at noon. I know some of them are. So just a little tidbit there that might help you out. But let's look at storm relative winds again. And I'm not seeing much here. I wish it was showing up a little more. But let's zoom out, and I will show you. All right, one of those tornado warnings is finally gone. Amber, we're making some headway here. And I know it's too early to call the celebration, but it's little victories, right?
It's the little victories, yeah. I've been watching this storm in Clay County, Georgia. So this is the one that produced the tornado in Abbeville and portions of Henry County earlier. So this storm still looks like it could do some damage. So Fort Gaines, this is off to your east now, but still a little hook on the storm. I know it's right on the fringe of our viewing area, but I didn't want to leave anyone out because we still have this tornado warning in effect. So you want to make sure you're in your safe place. If you're in pecan, whichever one it is, but make sure that you're in your safe place right now. The rotation is actually right over you, and reflectivity backs that up as well. So this storm's only moving about 25 miles per hour. Again, the storms are moving very slow right now, especially for supercells. So at least you do have time to prepare if you do go under one of those warnings. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on this storm in Georgia. We only have one other active tornado warning right now, and that's for Dale County and portions of Henry and Houston County. They did allow that warning for Coffee County to expire, or they canceled it, which is some great news there. And I haven't seen any damage reports out of Coffee County or even Dale County with that storm. So some good news to report there. But of course, we're not done just yet. This is just round one for the day. So we will continue to keep an eye on all these storms as they move through here, but definitely going to watch this one that is just to the north of Midland City. This is going to be moving towards Headland as we head into the next couple of minutes here. A lot of lightning within this storm as well. Couldn't even hear the thunder here at the studio. So Blackwood seeing some heavy rain right now, so you want to make sure you're in your safe place. Newville, get into your safe shelter, and Headland as well. If you're in Midland City, this is just to your north, so good idea to be away from your doors and windows as the storm rolls through your area. But overall, you are right outside that tornado polygon, and Pinkard, so are you as well. Newton, this has moved off to your east, so you are good as well. You're right on the fringe of that polygon, so we'll have to see what the National Weather Service ends up doing with this storm if they continue it as it heads into portions of Henry County. So we'll have to see what happens, Zach.
Yeah, Amber, I kind of want to follow what you were saying there with some of those safety tips. So I don't show this graphic too often, but we have it. So here is an idea of what to do in a shelter situation. So this is what I'm thinking is just a regular two bedroom home. Well, it's only showing one bedroom. We'll assume that other room is a bedroom. So you have your hallway there. You have stairs. Maybe you have to go upstairs or downstairs, depending on if you're getting a kid from upstairs or what the situation might be. But you want to be in a hall if there's no windows, or you want to be in a bathroom if there's no windows, and particularly if it's on the interior of the house. And cover yourself with blankets or a mattress if you're able to for protection. Safest place to be, of course, is a basement. Not everybody's got a basement, and I know there's not a ton of storm shelters around here, but that is the best thing to do if you know that the storm shelter door is going to be able to open once you get out of it. But I'm sure a lot of people have an interior bathroom or hallway, so that's where you should be sheltered and in a safe place. So here's kind of a bigger view of what's going on here. I haven't shown this yet, but it's a very extensive, severe threat. So yes, we have the tornado warning here, probably expiring sometime early this evening. Covers a lot of the area, not included for our panhandle. We're not out of the woods, out of all the way in the panhandle, but we're close to it. Tornado threat goes all the way into south central parts of Georgia. It extends northwestward into the Birmingham area. It goes all the way through parts of Mississippi. However, that's going to be more of a severe thunderstorm threat through there. It even goes all the way through Arkansas. And yes, I know what you're thinking. That's crazy for June. Well, pretend it's March or April. We have that setup where storms are being produced, rotating storms from one of those types of setups. The jet stream dipping further to the south, subtropical jet stream pumping moisture into the area, keeping it humid, keeping it warm, and that is what's helping to fuel this threat. So back to radar. I just had to explain the big picture here. But this is still a tornado warning for parts of Dale County. Now, Daleville, you're not in it. I know that's a big part of Dale County. Daleville, you're not in this threat. And Newton, you're not in the threat anymore. Midland City, you're not in the threat. And the northern part of the circle of Dothan, not in the threat for this storm. So I want to just kind of ease a few fears there. But got this hook setting up near Headland, so that is going to be a concern for sure. And north of Kinsey, still need to be on alert. Echo, you're not in this, so you can be unsheltered in Echo. And I think this is the last one. This is the last tornado warning for now. There probably will be some later on today here. But I'll call out some road names just real quick, and we might jump off here if this looks like this is going to be weakening, but I'm not ready to do that just yet. Now we do have our Live at Lunch, our noon newscast coming up, and it's possible that some of that will be impacted by what's going on. So just a heads up, we'll watch it as it comes to here. But Headland, close to that curving feature, close to that hook, and velocity is not helping us out very much with where that's going to be. But there is some broad rotation near Kirkland's Crossroads, and can back that up with our other velocity tool, moving closer to Newville. So I'm thinking Newville is probably going to be in more of the threat zone here and just around and north of Headland. But Sylvan Grove, Midland City, you are good. Echo, you are good. Daleville, you are good. Let's go back to this storm moving through Coffee County. Enterprise, heavy rainfall right now, some lightning. Could be some high rainfall rates at times today, which means an inch or two comes down and not much time at all. That could contribute to some flash flooding. Wherever you're not getting a tornado threat, heavy rain threat's probably going to be there. So storm relative velocity back to this one, and I'm not seeing anything to be concerned with. Amber, kind of throw it back to you real quick, but anything new on your end?
So I've been keeping up with the National Weather Service here, not seeing any damage reports from anywhere other than the Henry County storm that came through earlier. Great news there. I am keeping an eye on this Barber County storm because it is starting to show a sign of a hook. So that's something we'll watch for when it comes to rotation. A lot of lightning within the storm as well. When you see the lightning, that means that this storm is definitely strong and becoming stronger. So something we'll keep an eye on. It's right over Clayton right now. So if this continues on its eastward track, moving about 20 miles per hour, you follow, you're in line for the storm. Right now there's a severe thunderstorm warning on it, but definitely something to continue to watch. Now I know you can see those greens and those blues right there, and I'll actually circle them here to show you what I'm talking about, but this is actually just bad data. It is not actual rotation. It does not line up with where the storm is at. So not really concerned about that, but the storm itself, something to continue to watch. We'll actually see if the hail plot is working. So it's a little laggy, but it does look like there is some hail within this storm, which could be some severe hail. So of course, stay away from your doors and windows, and if you have a garage, great idea to put your car in there if you're in Eufaula, because obviously this storm has some hail with it, and that's going to be another one of the players in effect today is that large hail. We could see large hail, some damaging wind gusts, and of course we've already seen a confirmed tornado out of that storm in Henry County earlier. So the atmosphere is ready to play today, so make sure that you are on guard. You're paying attention to all the warnings that pop up today. But thankfully right now we only have that one tornado warning, and this is for portions of Dale County into portions of Henry County, and it looks like they did trim back Houston County from this morning, which is some great news. But if you are in Midland City or Newton, then this storm has already moved off to your east. You are good to go now. Echo, this is going to stay south of you, but Headland, Newville, you are the next in line to see this storm. Still has that tornado warning on it. Not seeing anything from the National Weather Service that they plan to cancel this early, so definitely something to keep an eye on, Zach.
Yeah, this one, like you just mentioned, moving into the Newville area, that one's been concerning, and the worst of it is probably just toward the east-southeast of Newville. So want to be in your safe place in Newville, and also Headland, especially north of Headland. You want to be sheltered, and I showed you recently better places of the home to do that, but still a lot of rainfall in this, lightning more than enough. You're seeing those little white dots. Each one of those is a lightning strike, and we actually just got video in to the newsroom of that storm that was in Abbeville and Henry County. So whoa, that is a pretty potent storm showing up there. And looks like you could see right where that tornado is. It's you don't see it really taking up any trees or anything, but I'm sure there's some, well, actually I do see some debris showing up on the left side of that funnel, and I believe that was pretty close to the city of Abbeville. Amber, is that right? If you just are able to check that out real quick?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, right there close to the city, or right in the city of Abbeville. So funnel noticeable, and you can see debris being thrown up. Very, very dangerous situation. This is why we are on here covering up your programming and could be impacting some of the newscasts today. That is going to have to be surveyed by the National Weather Service, but a very striking video of a tornado that's already happened this morning around the Abbeville community, and just not what you want to see. I hope that everybody is okay, and hopefully that's the only one we get today. And even if it is, it only takes one tornado to come through your area for it to be a bad day. That's something that I've always lived by, and it is true, because wherever one person's impacted, it ruins their day, and these can be life-changing events. So want to be sure to do the best we can here. Now there's this storm that's hooking right here close to the intersection of Barber County and Henry County. That's where the hook kind of intersects as it moves closer to Abbeville. We don't want to see Abbeville get hit again. We don't want to see anybody get hit, and our velocity signature is not showing up very well, but it's right here. So it goes all the way several miles southeast of Clio, extends toward the south and east into parts of Henry County and Abbeville. You're right here in the thick of the rainfall, heavy rain again, so don't want to try to go out and see any damage. You're going to be dealing with this storm. Some areas could be hit several times today with heavy rainfall or whatever the threat may be. Let's go back to the storm here in the Newville area, and some broad rotation in that could be tightening up. So tornado danger for Newville. It doesn't have to be confirmed for you to take shelter, but there could be a confirmed tornado around the Newville area. And then if that holds together, it would be in the Tumbleton area. Let's go to some street views for you. And these are moving toward the east and just slightly toward the northeast, around 25 miles per hour. So it's moving kind of fast, but I've seen these really zip by before. So you're getting some time to prepare, at least with the speed of these things. So Tumbleton, you're pretty close to the eastern edge of this tornado warning, so if this holds together, you'll be in this warning. And some other roads here close to Newville, and I'll just call them out. It doesn't mean the tornado is going down your road, but it means that the tornado threat's pretty close to you. County Road 53, close to that as it is east of there, but it's very close to Highway 431. So you have Newville right here. You have 431 cutting just east of Newville. That's where the heaviest rainfall is moving through here shortly, and potential for opposing winds, that couplet that could be forming, which would give you the spin. That's what we showed you as that tornado moved through the Abbeville area. It was noticeable. Debris was being thrown up, and that's a populated area. So if there's one, there could be more through the day. We have that set up for it. It does support it, and we've already seen it. Hopefully everybody's okay here. And let's see if that's the only one that we have for now.
So we do have this severe thunderstorm warning in Barber County, and although it doesn't look like it has any rotation within it, where you see these really dark reds, so let me bring your attention to it. I'll draw here. These really dark reds is actually a hail core within this storm. So it is dropping some hail. It doesn't mean that it's large hail, but there is that possibility. So if you are in Barber County, this is going to be to the east of Clayton. You want to make sure that you are in your safe place away from doors and windows. Treat this like a tornado warning. You want to put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. So the hail plot is kind of lagging behind here. So Zach has it pulled up on Max 2, but it's lagging behind the storm a little bit, but there is definitely some hail within the storm. So I don't want to leave you out in Barber County. We're not forgetting about you just because it's a severe thunderstorm warning, because you need to take this as serious as you would a tornado warning today, because we could see some very large hail out of these storms as well. So that's just another thing that we will continue to watch throughout the afternoon hours. We still have that one tornado warning, and that's for portions of Dale County into Henry County. I'm trying to see if the National Weather Service has said anything about it. Strong thunderstorms will impact the northern Henry County, and that is the ones that Zach was talking about earlier. So we still have a lot going on here. We are approaching noon now, so we've been at this for about an hour, already had one confirmed tornado. So the atmosphere is still very unstable and will only continue to destabilize over the next few hours. So we'll continue to keep you updated. Zach?
Yeah, Amber, and you mentioned the hail in this storm that's just east of Clayton. And there's two other ways to back that up. So you got the hail core right here, that dark red. Sometimes it shows up in pink. That's when you have a better grasp on how much hail and maybe the size of hail, if you're looking at the right thing. But so that's reflectivity, and I want to show you the debris tracking tool. Look at this mess. This is just a kind of a cluster of yellows, a little bit of green mixed in. That's showing us there's some larger things being thrown through the air. That's our hail. And there's another tool that we have, hail plot. Now this is, like Amber mentioned, lagging behind, but you have that bullseye there, that dark blue, and it is now about right here, and it'll probably move in a little bit, but it does tend to just fall behind the main storm. But it's about right here, getting closer to the western part of Eufaula. That's could be quarter-size hail. That could be even larger than that. Yesterday we had a report of ping pong ball size hail. Wouldn't be surprised if we had something like that or a little bit larger with the power of the updrafts in these storms. So let's see if this hail tool can be a little more accurate. So it's pretty close. It's a little bit east of Clayton, northeast of Clayton, where there's some hail ongoing, and we'll back it up with our correlation coefficient. Amber, this, not that you have to pop back on, but I'm just saying this is pretty full of some hail.
I do think there's rotation within that storm as well, so there is a good possibility that we see this one go tornado warned here soon as well. Yeah,
it's a mess. You have all the threats today, so some broad rotation around the Clayton area, and that'll continue toward the Eufaula area. A lot of population there. And we're about to do the noon show, the Live at Lunch show here in about 17 minutes. Could be that we're still on, so just want to give you a heads up on that. Could be impacting some of our newscasts today. But let's see this is storm relative velocity. We have another view of it that we toggle back and forth with. Doppler indicated winds, and that doesn't look as impressive, but with the hook feature of this is what we're going to mainly go by today. You got this hook right here around the Clayton area. There could be some rotation right here near Clayton, and that's going to impact areas east and northeast of there, kind of parallel to County Road 30. You're in a bad spot right now if this is going to turn into a tornado, and then eventually on toward the Eufaula area as it gets closer to Highway 431. A lot of people driving up that road both ways all the time, so not the best spot for this. Debris tracker, this is not debris being thrown up into the air by a tornado. This is different spots of hail within that storm. It shows us that this is probably not raindrops, but it's something a little bit bigger. And our hail plot, this needs to, let me see if I can get this to not lag behind here. It's still showing it right over Clayton, but I think the worst hail is just northeast of Clayton, and then there's probably some right here along County Road 30. So you don't want to be caught in hail driving. It can be rough on a windshield. And there's already been a tornado today around the Abbeville area. We have video proof of it, of debris being wafted into the air. So I want to make sure everyone is aware of how serious that these threats are today. It's more of a springtime setup. If the springtime setup was on steroids, atmosphere is charged up, atmosphere has a lot of moisture in it, and then you have that turning of the wind, and that's what gives you this hooking feature on a lot of these cells. I don't want to just stick with this one. I want to zoom out and see what else we got going on here. This one right here near Newton, hook feature on that just around the Fort Novacell, Delville area. That one is something that we'll watch, but not seeing anything too imminent with that. And then back to the Newville area. There's just a lot of these to go through here.
The National Weather Service did say that they are continuing the tornado warning. A thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Headland, moving east at 30 miles per hour. So we're going to continue with that tornado warning that is now in Henry County. And I don't want to forget about the rest of you in Henry County, because Abbeville has already been hit today. A lot of lightning and some very heavy rain just to your north and portions of North Henry County. not really impressive when it comes to any rotation or anything within these storms. But I mean, this is just going to hinder some of that cleanup from the storm that has already moved through there. So keep that in mind. Again, don't go out looking for any damage today or try to get a view of these storms. We want to make sure you're staying safe, and that is definitely not the way to do it. So make sure that you just stay in your safe place today if you can. Don't be out on the roadways as these storms move through, because there's still a lot to cover. We have just this one active tornado warning right now, but any other of the storms could go at any time. So definitely want to keep that in mind.
Yes, we're not out of the woods just yet on this, but still a lot of storms to keep up with. Around the Headland area, the Newville area, that's a big concern right now. We've been watching that one for a little while. Abbeville already had a tornado. Now let's go to the city of Dothan. A lot of people here. We haven't talked too much about Dothan, just to give you an idea of what's going on all sides of the city here. Now, if you're within the circle, most likely dry, except for maybe a sprinkle in those with some of those lower clouds. But there's some rain off just to the west side of town here along Highway 84. And then if you were to go to Newton, you'd be dealing with some very heavy rainfall, maybe some hail. The hail could be as large as quarters. Some of these cells will produce hail even bigger than that. With the strength of these updrafts that we have today, so don't want to deal with that. You don't want to try to drive in that. And go a little bit further to the north here of Abbeville. Some hook feature right here, about to cross Highway 431. A lot of lightning in that. Look at this. This is something we'll watch very closely here. And then still it shows another hook just northeast of Abbeville. Rain is torrential within that. So if this area were to be hit over and over again with rainfall, that would lead to maybe some flash flooding. So we'll have to watch for some flash flood warnings too going through the day here. But really just a volatile situation. The southern part of Dale County dealing with this cell around Newton, Ozark. You're probably watching this from the east, but it is just off toward the west where you got some rainfall. Could be seeing some lightning. You're not in an immediate threat, Ozark. You are good. And some other areas that are good to go: Enterprise, Coffee Springs, Sampson, Hartford, Rehoboth, Geneva. You're not in any immediate danger on here. We're mainly concerned with this cell around the Newville area, and with some roads we can call out here to help you out. County Road, looks like County Road 99, County Road 53, the Danzy community, not in this tornado warning, but so close to the worst part of this storm. So Danzy need to be sheltered as this gets right through here. Newville, you'll be out of the woods on this one soon, but for now, you need to be in your safe place. Blackwood, they need to trim this tornado warning back because the Blackwood area, you're good to go. Tumbleton, you're now getting close to the worst part of this. So need to be thinking about getting in shelter in the Tumbleton area. If this were to continue, this tornado warning has been going for, I believe, 45 minutes at least, but has potential to go longer. You still have that hook feature. Let's go back further west toward the Newton area, and we'll just go on storm structure here. Not much of a hook. It looks a little bit disfigured, but you do have that feature where there could be some rotation southwest of Newton, and then Daleville, you're in the clear. Clayhatchee, you're in the clear. Still some big time rainfall around County Road 249. Don't want to be messing with that. Wherever you're seeing the darker reds, that could be a hail core. And while I'm talking on that, I can show you the hail plot. Okay, I don't see any hail in that one, but it could be developing some.
I do want to bring attention back to the Barber County storm. So this one is headed off towards the east. It'll move towards Eufaula. It's moving about 20 miles per hour. So there is a little rotation within the storm, and it has a nice little hook trying to develop on it. So again, there's not a tornado warning for this just yet, but I did want to give you a heads up. This one has been producing some hail with it as well. So our velocity is showing a little bit of rotation within this storm, and like I said, kind of lines up to where that hook is starting to develop at. So make sure that you are in your safe place if you're in Eufaula. This is in Barber County in Alabama. So we can plot the hail, still a little bit showing up within this storm. So you want to make sure you're in your safe place away from your doors and windows. A lot of lightning still within the storm, which means it's still strengthening. So we will keep an eye on that one as well. Just wanted to make sure that our friends in Barber County didn't feel left out, because we got you covered. We're trying to keep an eye on all these storms around here, Zach.
Yeah, Amber, and it's a lot to keep up with, so it's easy to get kind of fixated on one of them and then miss out on what's going on down the stream. But I circled the worst part of this here. That hook looks just bad enough to where something could be developing right here, close to the edge of where this circle, this badly drawn oval is. I just drew it in a hurry, but right here, somewhere around there, could be where we get some rotation. That's east of Clayton. So Clayton, you're good to go. This needs to be trimmed back here. You're not in any kind of danger, but now Eufaula, you need to be thinking about what you're going to do if this storm powers right through here. You know, you got the lake, a lot of people fishing. I've noticed that lately. So you want to get off the shore of the lake if you haven't already done so. If you know anybody is out there, get them out of the danger zone.
Zach, I'm actually going to take it back from you. I know we still have that one active tornado warning here in portions of Henry County, although rotation within this storm has weakened a lot from what I've seen over the past couple of minutes here. So what I'm getting at is we're getting very close to noontime, which means it is time for Live at Lunch. So I do think that we're in a position where we can hop off the air, and we will start Live at Lunch at 12 o'clock. And then, of course, if we do see anything else that does pop up during Live at Lunch or even afterwards, we will be right back to our team coverage here. But I am going to go ahead and let us hop off the air here. And, of course, Zach and Caroline will be back here in about 6 minutes. So until then, make sure you're staying safe throughout today.
This has been a forewarned weather alert.